Well, I mean, I think had I not won in Aberdeen, I think that this week would be a realistic opportunity, and I don't feel it any less realistic because I won last week. I would say the odds go more in my favour, just through confidence and through the experience of having done that the last couple of weeks. So, winning a major championship is never easy, no matter what circumstances are. So, for me, the goal is to trust my game, to get a good game plan going, to not get ahead of myself, to get to the first tee on Thursday fresh and ready to play. And then if I commit to all the things that I know how to do, all my skills, if I manage to let them all come out this week, then I'm going to give myself a good opportunity. I mean, this is the one that I've hold the putt as a junior to win, on the putting green through years of practice. Thousands of times I've won the Open Championship in my mind. So this is probably the one that I dreamed about the most. So of course, it would just be, I think when you're chasing major championships, any of them will do. But if you're lucky enough to win this one, I think it'd be incredibly special. TaylorMade have a new UDI club, which is it's like a hybrid, but more like an iron. So there's a 1, 2, and 3 iron version of that. I used the 3 iron in Washington. I used the 2 iron last week, and this week I actually might use the 1 iron version. So I've been bouncing around with the top end of the bag, and then I've also been adjusting my wedges. By adding an extra club in the top range, I've had to get rid of a wedge. So and I've sort of been adjusting the bounces and the lofts of my wedges to accommodate. So that's the goal for me for the next 2 days, is to figure out this golf course, try and understand if the wind blows from both directions, what club's going to be important to me. I mean, my last 6 holes at Aberdeen, the longest iron I hit off the tee was a 6 iron. So I hit 6 iron, 8 iron, I hit 7 iron, 7 iron, I hit 6 iron wedge, I hit 6 iron, 6 iron, and I hit 6 iron, 5 iron into the last last 5 par 4s. And that's all based upon keeping it out of the bunkers. You can't play links golf from pot bunkers. They are true penalties. So whatever the club is, if it is a 2 iron, or if it's a 3 iron, or a 4 iron, or a 5 iron, that is why they are important clubs, is just to keep it in the fairway. And I think it's a very, very fair test. I think that if you think about it as not necessarily how many under par, but how many strokes you're going to need to win this week, because some par 5s are going to be play relatively easy. So if you don't make 4, you're actually dropping a shot. So almost take par out of the equation, but whatever the winning total is, I think it's a very fair golf course, and it's going to be the guy who does play best this week. I mean, if you take care of the par 5s this week, I think that goes a long way to, you can look at them both ways. They can be tough par 4s. Depending on the wind direction, I haven't really figured out how they play yet with different winds. If some of them are into the wind, then they're legitimate par 5s, obviously. But if you take care of the par 5s, you're going to do relatively well. I thought the par 3s are good golf holes. All of them are sort of short to mid irons, which I feel like they're really good classic holes. If you take care of those 2 sets, then you can afford to play the rest of the course relatively conservatively. With playing at home comes a different atmosphere, for sure. You get the crowd sort of behind you, and I think they'll be behind anybody who gets their name on the leaderboard this week. So from an English perspective, and obviously there's many great English players who have the opportunity to win. I've always said, for me, I've always focused more on winning major championships, or that the goal of, or striving to, than chasing number 1. I think that's just a really nice byproduct of your process and improving as a golfer. And so if it happens, it happens, obviously. Right now, I'm focused on this week, and the fact that gives me the opportunity, then brilliant, but it's not really front and center right now. So 2010, that was in my mind, the next 10 years from that point were going to be my prime. That was going to be when I was either going to live up to whatever, Birkdale back in the day, or I wasn't. So it was the time for me to do it. Before then, I kept chalking things down to experience, and I'm learning, and there comes a point where you've got to stop learning and start doing. So absolutely. So from now through the next 6, 7 years is absolutely important for me.